Tour players shank shots as well from time to time.
Hey, come on, you don't see that often at all.
You don't see it often, but it does happen.
The other great story on the weekend, and it was Michael Block.
Yeah.
The pro out of California. Yeah, tell me you didn't have Richard. Tell me you didn't have tears in your eyes.
Oh, absolutely! It's a Cinderella story. Like, I did a little bit of research on him. He's made 5 cuts. He's played in 25 PGA Tour events. So 35 years ago, Lonnie Nielsen was the finished. I think he finished 6th. But Lonnie Nielsen played on the tour for years before he went down, lost his ability, became a club pro, and then qualified. Michael Block was never a tour player. He was a club pro. And to do what he did was phenomenal. To make a hole-in-one, he didn't even realize he made a hole-in-one until after Rory hugged him. I mean, this is unbelievable. What a remarkable story. I tweeted out, Lego, you're gonna like this. I tweeted last night, do you think Liv makes him an offer? If I was Liv, I'd make him an offer. It's such a good story.
I think everybody on the PGA Tour is deciding whether to make him an offer. I'm interested. I know the CEO of Golf Canada was in Rochester this weekend. I wonder whether he invited them and gave an invitation.
To how many exemptions how many exemptions will he get now?
It happened last night.
Let me talk about that one. I just want to get. By the way, I love the story. I think the story was amazing. But let's put this into perspective, because it's getting a little bit crazy, right? Okay. And someone did, and Brian Crawford, who's the tournament director for the RBC Canadian Open, actually sort of on Twitter offered him a spot
last night. There you go.
Completely disagree with this. And when we've got our own national open, and by the way, the story here is about a club pro. It's not about some mini tour guy that did it. This story made sense to everybody, and it really meant a lot to their membership. If you saw, they didn't show other golf clubs in the country. They showed his golf club in Mission Viejo. Everybody crowded in the clubhouse, cheering for him and everything.
Of course.
It has a huge impact on his club, right? And the community. I think it'd be a big mistake for Golf Canada. Nobody's going, by the way, if he's going to play this week at Colonial, he goes out and misses the cut, he is no longer a story in the game of golf. We've seen this many times before, right? And we're going to offer a guy a spot in our national open that we could genuinely give this to another club pro. Give it to a club pro. Doesn't have to be a mini tour player. Give it to another club pro, because that would mean so much to their membership and to their junior members at the club that their pro is playing in the Canadian Open. I think if we're talking about what this means to Canadian golf, Michael Block showing up there is a story that everybody watch. He goes out there and shoots 79 in the first round at Oakdale. Nobody is going to care unless he keeps performing like this. Now we got a different story.
I'll give you that.
and that's a tall order.
Let me ask you a story. Let me ask you a question. I'm not normally a conspiracy theorist, but did Michael Block get more attention because Brooks Koepka's on Live?
100%. I think a lot of the golf journalists tried to make this story, and someone even made a comment as a journalist. They call it the PGA Tour is using Michael Block to hijack Brooks Koepka's wins.
So,
which is true.
I don't know about that.
I think if you go on Twitter right now, you'll see so much more about Michael Block than you will about Brooks Koepka. And is it fair? Absolutely, it's fair. I think it's an amazing story. I think it's a great story. I think that the passion and the love that he has for the game of golf is something that, for us is now, sort of in that side of the business, I think is amazing. I think it does an incredible amount for the game of golf.
Brooks Koepka's win, there's no denying what he did. It was remarkable. It's not even on the same level of what Michael Block did. It's just Michael Block's a Cinderella story. I mean, Brooks Koepka's win was historic. It was remarkable. It was fantastic. But, you just don't get There's never been a Cinderella story like that.
Well, there hasn't.
Yes, there was.
Which one? Who?
Justin Rose in the British Open. 17 years old, finished second, right? Or fourth, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
then he disappeared.
And then all of a sudden, everybody jumped all over Justin Rose. He turned pro. Right. He's the next coming. He signed multi-million-dollar. Ty Tryon is another one. I mean, I know he didn't have any great performances.
Yeah, he didn't have a great performance.
Again, everybody, he, if you want to call it, hijacked the PGA Tour story. But Justin Rose is a perfect example.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a hijack. I mean, it just was a great
I'm just
story.
using that as an analogy of a golf writer. But I mean, I love the story. I think it was a great storyline that gets away from professional
He's
golf.
46 years old, Lego. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome. Maybe I'll tell you what's even better is going to be even better when he turns 50 and starts winning, Champions Tour events. Would be a fantastic story. Yeah.
He's got to perform to get out there. That'll let's see if he keeps performing.
Because
I think he's at a fork in the road. Do you not? Where does he become a tour player now? I mean, I think there's.
I don't know. I think.
Well, the only way he'd become a tour player is if Liv made him an offer and he accepted. I mean, do you think that's a real possibility?
That's no chance that's going to happen. Absolutely. But by the way, because all those teams are owned by the players, there isn't a single captain on a team. Sergio Garcia, Dustin Johnson is not saying, geez, I'm going to give up one of my guys for Mike.
No, but not all Liv players are on teams, right?
Yeah, they are.
They're all on teams? Everyone?
Every single one of those guys is on a team now. Okay. Yeah, and they get relegated at the end of the year. If they don't perform, I think it's the low 12 players literally get kicked off the tour, and they come off of the Asian tour. The top 12 or 10 guys off of the Asian tour will get placed onto Live teams next year. So that's just not a possibility. But I would love for him. And by the way, as a club pro, the way he plays, and Zok knows this, the way that he plays the game, he might play pretty good around Colonial. He very well may.
You're right.
It's not a long golf course.
If there's any golf course he could play well, he could play that one well.